We're really excited to have you here today for our Composting 101 workshop. We have some stations set up, and we would love for people to come by and ask questions and get more information about composting.
Well, the different tables, we have wormiculture over here, we have open pile, and then we have this Lumi machine that basically turns things into compost.
Open pile, I've been doing open pile composting for over 25 years. Been very successful, and especially here on Cape Cod, really very little soil on top of the land. I've always had a garden, I've always had a vegetable garden, and I found I couldn't grow it in sand, and so I've had to make my own dirt. Open pile actually worked really well here. I thought it was actually going to be too dry, but we have a space in back of the barn that's covered and stays moist, and so the breakdown is really great. I use all my, food waste except meat. Occasionally some fat will get in, and occasionally some cheese or dairy will get in. Mostly it's just green matter, fruits and veggies, the peels, the ends, the leftovers, pits, cooked or raw, seeds. You can put coffee grinds in, you could put eggshells in, you can put manures in, not dog or cat, cow, sheep, goats if you have access, chickens, grass clippings, and leaves. That would be some of the brown matter that goes in. This is what about 1 week of open compost pile would look like. This is probably 2 months, so you could see most stuff. Now the brown stuff, the woodier stuff takes longer. And then this is probably 6 months, which is really rich, stuff that you could easily plant anything in. I probably do it a little different than other people. What the experts think about it, they put paper and napkins and newspaper and those sorts of things in. I do not put any of that in. I'm always just careful not to put anything that could have a bleach in it or ink. Compost, I use one of these, I don't know if you can see that, but it's one of those metal containers. I've had it for 25 years. I put it in a dishwasher probably once every couple of weeks. I never ever put a bag in it. I've tried it a couple of times. I've never owned a bin, but I have used a bin at other people's houses, my son's in particular. I find it very distasteful to go and open that thing, especially in warm weather. There's rotting food in there, and there's flies and maggots and, really kind of things that I don't really want to see, where that I never see those things, in the open pile system. Pests, you have pests. And if I put a big watermelon rind out there at the end of the day, the next morning I'll go out and I'll see it has been dragged out. Somebody's been eating on it. Now, have I ever had rats? No, I've never ever seen a rat. Mostly crows and ravens that kind of go in there, and they just turn the pile over for me, really. They'll go in there and take stuff out and eat it a little bit. And I don't call them pests, but you minimize critter visits is you just bury everything. You just bury it every time you put it in, you bury it. And you get a pile really pretty quickly so that you can easily bury it. I do it all year, but I actually just use it once a year. So I, start at a pile, say April 1st, and then I'll cap that pile like March 1st. Use just seagrass that I get from the beach, and so that it all is definitely all broken down. And then I put that in my, all my raised beds. And so this year we needed absolutely no soil. We didn't purchase any soil. It's totally economical, it's easy, sustainable. It's fun to do. You get some, it's a little sad looking right now, it's got wilted, but we get some great vegetables. I mean, for me to be picking, radishes like that in June, I'm feeling pretty good about it. Take something out of that garden, eat it every single day for 6 months.